Hi everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Prime Video, new horror, satire, workplace comedy drama The Consultant is based on the novel of the same name by Bentley Little. It stars Oscar-winning actor Christoph Waltz in the role of Regis Patoff, the mysterious new boss of a video game development company called Compware. It becomes clear quite quickly that something is very off about the way he runs the firm. In my view, The Consultant can be digested in two different ways. First is the normal way of understanding things based on the scenes that play along the screen. But I think The Consultant makes more sense when watched on a deeper level. The show is filled with biblical references and symbolism. The biggest and most prominent reference to the Bible and Jesus is number 316. 316 is the final level of the new game, Mr. Sang's Jungle Odyssey. We also see the kid winning the level in the final episode and getting a skeleton as a reward. We will cover the skeleton part later, but 316 in Bible refers to the quote of John which says, "For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish but have eternal life." Patoff can also be seen as a devil as he manages to convince Sang for his services in one meeting and also put Patty in a trance mode. Patty, being an ardent believer in Jesus and church, gets trapped in the invisible hold of the devil Patoff. I may be wrong. What do you think of this? Coming back to the reward the kid received once he completes the game, the skeleton can actually be referenced to the Regis Patoff. As you already know, the name Regis Patoff is a made-up name which stands for registered in the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. This made me think about the movie Ex Machina, where a near-perfect clone of a human gets out of control and goes to live among the human population with no one having any clue. This makes us question our character, Regis Patoff, if he really a human or an AI robot who built himself using gold. This is evident from the scenes Craig goes to Pomona to investigate the same with Frank Flores. Also, Craig also managed to do surgery on the toe and see that is indeed made of gold. During the first time I watched Patoff's meeting with Sang, I thought he used mind control. And then you see what happens to Patty. He gets the best out of them, what he wants. He does this with Elaine. I think he uses the World War II based of mind control MK Ultra. Which first you have to traumatize them and then reset the person. Where all of the employees are traumatized by the death of their boss, Mr. Sang. Now all Patoff had to do was reset them for what he need for them to do. MK Ultra was a US CIA program. Patoff almost feels the government created. I also notice the sound we hear when Patoff climbs the stairs, which is different from when anyone else is using it. The stairs in the show can also be a reference to the corporate ladder. It also gets narrowed towards the top, referencing the exclusivity of the top position in the corporate world. Patoff, as we see, actually managed to pull the company out of all troubles and increase the revenue, and also managed to find a new successor to Sang to lead the company. The fact that Regis Patoff never sleeps, only leaves the Compware office to visit a portable restroom in the middle of nowhere, and has his name abbreviated from Registered U.S. Patent Office, confirms that he functions like a literal machine. However, The Consultant's subtle references to Dante's Inferno and other religious undertones seem to suggest that there is a lot more to Patoff's inhuman demeanor than meets the eye. On two occasions, The Consultant brings a horror twist by briefly featuring illustrations from Dante's Inferno, which alludes to how he forces his employees through circles of corporate hell by invading their private and personal lives. He even manipulates them in their dreams and encourages them to commit sins that gradually detach them from their basic sense of morality and decency. These supernatural connotations in Patoff's characterization indicate that Sang's mother was right on the money when she claimed that the devil took her soon. The devil here refers to Patoff, who is a demon in a consultant's disguise, determined to keep capitalism's hamster wheel of hell rolling by turning his employees into immoral sinners like him. I also noticed every time Patoff passes next to a server rack, the lights turn red, as if triggered by his presence, and later, the server room lights have all become red. It could be that Patoff's persona and his influence on Compware are reflected in the lights changing red over time. When audiences meet Elaine, she is Sang's assistant. She handles his schedule and hosts tours of the office when school groups come in. She may even help him make creative decisions. With Paytoff's arrival, she rebrands her position as creative liaison, glamorizing her role a touch as she applies to other companies. As the season continues, Elaine becomes more involved with decisions like helping with focus groups and marketing for the new game in a way that helps her stand out. She asserts herself by snagging an office in the managerial suite and seems to modify her office reputation as the approachable assistant. She changes into a person who is trusted with more significant decisions and is envied because of her newfound confidence. Elaine is the one Paytoff decides should take over CompWare after he departs. Thanks to Paytoff's pushing, she finds her voice and learns to navigate the world in his shoes. She successfully plans the kidnapping of an elephant to promote the new game and uses unsavory means to convince an ex-boyfriend to carry it out. She shows she can be cutthroat, which Paytoff seems to believe is necessary to be the leader of CompWare. She grows from a pushover into someone who can't be steamrolled and proves she can continue the legacy Paytoff starts. It's the epitome of someone growing into who they are meant to be. While Paytoff brings out the best, and maybe the shadiest, work ethic in Elaine in pushing her to be the leader she is destined to be, he does the exact opposite for Craig. Despite working for a top company, Craig does not have any confidence in his own abilities. He doesn't believe he's a strong coder or that he deserves to work at CompWare. This feeling only seems to intensify when he fails Paytoff's test, especially when the consultant says he wouldn't count on the coder in a crisis. As the first two members of CompWare Paytoff meets, Elaine and Craig are both tested by the consultant. Craig's perceived failure is punished as Paytoff interferes in his relationship and career. Despite coming up with the base idea for Mr. Sang's Jungle Odyssey, Craig doesn't get to work on the game and watches as his co-workers enjoy the fruits of their labor. Patty, Amy Carrero, leaves him, and he is in a worse predicament than he was in the first episode. What will happen to Craig next? There is a chance that he moves on from CompWare and tries to find a new career path. But there's also the matter of the spyware in the new game, which gives the company access to all players' devices. This could create a massive scandal and cause the legacy Paytoff created to come crashing down, unless the company throws Craig under the bus. One moral of Elaine, Craig, and Paytoff's story is companies and employees will either sink or swim under the right leadership. In this case, CompWare and Elaine swim. The company creates a top-selling game and Elaine proves she has what it takes to be a leader. Meanwhile, Craig sinks. Under the pressure of the consultant liking his game and his concern for who Paytoff is, Craig cracks and loses the best things in his life. It isn't the main theme of The Consultant, but it is the one most relatable to audiences. There is a time in everyone's life when they feel a similar amount of pressure. Under Sang, Elaine is stunted, and Craig continues to pitch ideas that never go anywhere. With Paytoff as the CEO, Elaine thrives, and Craig only retains his self-confidence for a short period of time when Paytoff likes his game idea. As morbid as it may be, without Sang's passing and Paytoff's work, Elaine would probably still be an assistant. She gets the break in her career she needed. While it doesn't work out in the same way for Craig, he demonstrates the other half of make or break. Elaine makes the best of the new leadership, and Craig breaks under it. Audiences spent most of the series convinced there was something inherently evil about Paytoff. While knowing he didn't kill someone doesn't completely right him of his wrongs, it's a great reminder to not assume the worst in everyone. He didn't kill Sang's mother, but he still trapped Patty in the basement of the office and tried to force Craig to kidnap someone. Paytoff is clear of a single act, but audiences still know he's lying about his name and has committed other horrific acts. His slight moral boundary doesn't prove he's a good person, but it does remind audiences that everyone has a line they won't cross. In the simplest of terms, he is the incarnation of the devil. At least, that's what Bascalip states in his interview with USA Today. That was the pitch, that he was the devil. But what is the devil, or maybe someone acting on the devil's behalf, getting out of creating a legacy for company owners. It seems like this could be a way to collect souls in hell. Maybe the CEOs are meant to be there. Or maybe their companies are ways to bring people to hell. It can't be just a coincidence that the frequency of amputations goes up nearly 50% in Russia after Patov helps the prosthetic company, or that people want to hurt themselves when they can't complete level 316 of Mr. Sang's Jungle Odyssey. Being associated with the devil also explains several minor, almost supernatural occurrences in the series, like Patty's trance. We are left questioning who Patov is without any real answers. Hopefully, we will learn his true identity in another season.